Mario Hearts Canada. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, check it out on That Game Place. Hi, folks. It's me, CC Culture Casino, here with, a Super Mario fan. It is Nolan Thunder rocking his lid. Oh my gosh, that's a great hat, bro.
Thank you very much, but I actually hate Mario.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest lie of the century. How's it going, everybody?
It's fantastic. Look, look. The reason that the intro was so short is because it's the truth. Mario Kart, especially on the Wii, actually, the Rainbow Road just loves Canada. There are certain places across the globe that Mario Kart takes place, especially if it's above the ground. But when it comes to Rainbow Road, it's basically canonically positioned over Canada. And you know what? This story is so great. We had to share it with you almost as fast as we found it. Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road is apparently canonically positioned over a large part of Canada. You don't believe me? We have a map. It's the real thing. So we're going to get to it. But according to this, Mario Kart's Rainbow Road holds a special place in the hearts of many. And it also happens to hover over very specific parts of the planet. And this is true because it's not just Wii, it's other things where this hangs out. So we'll get into it. But according to Mario Broth blog, apparently a great follow if you like Mario.
Yes, Super Mario Broth is amazing. You need to check them out. They learn things before I think even Nintendo knows about them. They're amazing.
They actually highlighted the placement of the racing series' most iconic track in a series of posts. So it's in various places. So those who have put some time into the Nintendo spin-off franchise, I think I have, might have noticed that the Earth can be seen below in some versions of Rainbow Road. Mario Broth offers an in-depth analysis of the size and location of both the Mario Kart 8 and the Mario Kart Wii locations of Rainbow Road, revealing that both cast shadows over very different parts of the planet. Here's the tweet, and I want to show you this because it's important. Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Roads are depicted floating above the Earth. By examining the skyboxes, we can map their real-world locations, and you can see here. In Wii, it covers a large part of Northeast Canada and a small part of Greenland. That's amazing. Most of the track takes place over Quebec, which is wild. And then Mario Kart 8 apparently is much smaller, and it sits over the Mediterranean Sea, which puts it above Sardinia, Sicily, and Tunisia. So when the Wii Rainbow Road was included in the bonus courses, it reuse the same skybox, becoming relocated to the same position. That's insane. It gets weirder, right? I think. Let's get to that. So Mario Kart's Rainbow Road is massive, and it just seems to be positioned in two different places here. It's much smaller than its Nintendo Wii counterpart if you were thinking about Mario Kart 8, but Mario Broth notes that the Booster Course Pass re-release of the Wii track uses the same skybox, putting it in the same place. But wait, there's more. Now, I know you're a super fan of Mario. I know you love Mario Kart, Nolan. So tell me, have you ever noticed this before?
No. In fact, I always find it really weird if you call the Mario planet Earth, because I don't think Nintendo has ever called it Earth. Now, of course, to us, to the normal person, it's Earth. But I know for like Sonic fans, there's this big debate on, is it called Planet Earth or is it called Planet Morbius, which is what came from like the cartoons or whatever. Nintendo's kind of shied away. It's just that you have the Mushroom Kingdom or the Bean Kingdom, or you have space. Like they don't really hammer home Earth, and that kind of makes me uncomfortable, the idea of real world locations in Mario, because I'm like, what, did all the traumatic wars and stuff happen in the Mario timeline? Like it just doesn't seem to fit to me. But if it did have some sort of connection, like say the Mushroom Kingdom and all the worlds around it, Yoshi's Island, if it represented still a map that would emulate that of the real world, but in a more fantasy element, but still keep the same terrain, it would actually make sense for Canada, because Canada's known for Aurora Borealis, and you're basically going on like rainbows and all sorts of star type structures. So I could see tracking around on there if there was some connection. I wonder how much, I wonder if the developers just took, a rip of the plan and it's like, okay, good enough, but or maybe they put a little bit deeper thought into it. It's like, okay, maybe we should seriously take how the Mario planet should be presented. I mean, they've done space games.
Yeah, and I mean, we had Super Mario Galaxy and all these other things, so it wouldn't surprise me if it appeared in other worlds. And again, who knows? I mean, Super Mario has a world that seems to resemble ours, at least according to the last animated film. Plus, I mean, if you think about the live action film going way back with Bob Hoskins and Leguizamo, you think about it that that maybe it was on our planet. We don't know, but what I do know is this: apparently the weirdness doesn't stop at those two locations. There is a location of the Mario Kart Tour version of the Wii Rainbow Road, which I guess is different, that's covering Japan, China, and Southeast Asia, which is bonker
Everywhere.
sauce. Yeah.
Everywhere must be conquered. But I gotta say, this is some dedication to a race, because that's a good point. If you take like the old cartoons, the animated movies, actually both the movies, they integrate the real world. They're plumbers from Brooklyn. They work on a
Right.
drain. Bam, they end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So theoretically, if Mario gets up in the morning, you start out in the Mushroom Kingdom. You need to haul your giant cart through a warp pipe somewhere, get to planet Earth, somehow get your cart to, I don't know, space, and then drive around China and stuff. That's crazy.
It's pretty cool. And I mean, there are a lot of like what looks like real world locations as tracks in Mario Kart, but I never gave it this much thought. Apparently, this person, SB2749 or ESBE, was replying to Mario Broth blog and said, I basically they laid out this model in Sketchfab and it kind of works. So, I mean, I'm looking at all these things going, this isn't, I never noticed any of this stuff. So if somebody else noticed it, well done. But Nintendo likely didn't likely intend for this version of, it's not cooperating with me anymore. Anyway, of this to be built to scale, but it's fun to imagine that you might catch a glimpse of Mario and company if you break out a telescope. Meanwhile, Nintendo's Mario Kart series is currently between releases. The last numbered entry arrived on the Wii U in 2014, though Nintendo's managed to make the most of it with the Deluxe re-release for the Switch, which is what I've been playing lately, and a long list of DLC editions, which I think is great. I don't know, man. It's kind of neat to think about it this way, but at the same time, I mean, are we thinking too much about it? Maybe so.
Never.
What do you think? No,
Never.
never.
You see, Nintendo is somewhere between. Okay, so you have they don't care at all about the lore to they really, really care about the lore and they really care about their IPs and characters. But when it comes to consistency, they don't like that. So they are in this awkward middle ground where when you have fans like me, you get to have all this crazy insanity trying to figure out a timeline, trying to figure out a map, trying to figure out if it's a split timeline. And I gotta say, if they had a racing brochure, like Indy 500 ain't got nothing on this because yeah, our tour will start out in down in Yoshi's Island. Next thing you know, we're in like a winter area back in like Snowman's Land, and next thing you know, we're in space. I know it's a video game and it's ridiculous, but really that's part of the fun. When you keep building great worlds like that, I mean, I like to think like, what kind of rocket would the Mushroom Kingdom have just for cart travel?
I don't know. Maybe one of those blue origins or something from Amazon. I don't know because it looks like a mushroom, right? Anyway, so real quick, I got one last question because I have to ask you. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put out there that I do believe that the new Switch, the next generation Switch, Switch 2, whatever you want to call it, I do believe that'll be released in April of next year. Okay. Do you think when that releases, we'll have a new version of Mario Kart that comes with it?
No, but we'll have one by holiday either that year or the very next year, no later than that. It will
Wow.
not go farther than the holiday season following.
Wow.
They will. I don't think you will go much more than a year without a new Mario Kart game coming to that system. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, I think though there will be. I will make a prediction right now. There will be a new 3D Mario game coming to that system in time for holiday next year. I
All right.
do. You can hold me to it, and if I'm wrong, y'all can call me out. But I think it's
Hey,
going to happen.
Look, I think you're probably right, but I actually believe that they will have to release it with a Mario Kart game. And if they do, I think it'll be glorious. But I want to ask you, I lied. I want to ask you one more question.
Okay, bring it on.
All
Bring
right.
it on.
All right. Okay. So when we get the Switch 2, will it be backwards compatible with the Switch 1?
I do, because Nintendo seems to have a bit of a trend, if the Wii U's anything to go off of, and like the DS.
Right.
They'll tend to ignore a system, but they'll usually include the last system as long as it wasn't a big like bust. I think
Right.
that they will have compatibility. Now, will the Mario Kart 8 servers come into the new system? I don't know about that. Mario Kart 8 is technically like an over 10-year-old game at this point,
Right.
since it goes back to the Wii U.
Yeah.
So I really think I think it will play Switch games. That's what I believe.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. All right, Nolan, thank you very much. And for those of you out there in the audience, we're just curious. Did you ever notice any of this stuff before, that maybe the real world was down below you when you were playing Rainbow Road? Also, do you have speculation about the Switch 2? Because obviously we do. And I think those speculations are interesting. Go ahead, Nolan. I think you have
The
one more thing
next
to say.
time, but remember, there's a lot of implications here. So the
Mhm.
next time you see a comet going across the sky, just think about it. That could be Yoshi burning up in our atmosphere.
I don't want to think about that anyway. All right, Nolan, thanks a lot. On that note, let us know what you think down in the comments section below. And as always, game on.